Good morning, YouTube. Louie here, and I'm not going to talk about the best silver gold deals today, but if you do want to find out where to buy before prices probably go up in a few hours, you can get over to bestsilvergolddeals.com. We'll try to find the best price for you anywhere on the internet. Today, I want to talk about everything having to do with selling. Okay, it's a video you won't see anywhere else on YouTube, but I've lived through this before. Rapid spikes in silver and gold, more silver than gold. And what happens next, what people do. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this. Now, you should really have a plan. I talked about this yesterday on my video, that a plan has to do with when you buy, what prices you're going to buy at, what types of silver, gold, platinum, palladium, whatever it might be that you're going to buy, and also a plan for when you're going to sell. Now, when you're going to sell, well, it's a mixed bag. Some people will never sell. Their plan is to just pass everything on to their heirs, and that's fine as well. But as you're buying, you may get some value out of determining what has a higher value and what has a lower value when you go to sell. Who pays more? Who pays less? What is a safe way to sell? What is an unsafe way to sell? How to sell one metal and buy another, how to sell both metals and buy a home, or pay for a kid's college education, or get that Harley that you've been waiting for. But let's say that you have been buying. Let's say that you are not brand new in this process, or you just want to learn about this. So let's start off with how old are you? All right, I think your age has a lot to do with whether you should be selling on this run that's happening right now. It's an explosive run. Silver and gold returns are outpacing the S&P 500. They're outpacing Bitcoin. We are having a really good time in the markets, and I talk about that every day. Gold has to do with the fiat dollar for the most part. Silver has to do with industrial demand. All right, and as you've been buying, hopefully you had a plan for how much of your net worth you really wanted to put into metals. I don't think you should put 100% of your money into metals. Some people recommend 10%, 15%, 20%. But you have allocated some reasonable amount of money into your stacking plan, and you've been acquiring. Now we have the run. We have the explosive run, and you're wondering, should I just keep buying? Your dollar cost average may be $15, $20, $25, $30. If you've been buying any time prior to the last few months, you probably have some substantial profits in your silver and gold. You've been buying, and now you're wondering what to do as silver breaks out. Let's take a quick look at the spot price there. All right, we got the spot price with gold at 3,684. Okay, it's been on a remarkable run. It is way above its moving average. Often things retrace to their moving average. You can look at those charts if you want. But we are really way above the moving average, okay? Silver, same thing. Very, very far from the moving average. It's just been rolling and busting through resistance zone. But here's a 6-month chart of copper. And this is what can happen in the markets when the regulators and the manipulators and even the government, in my humble opinion, think that things are getting too far out of control. Here we had copper moving up to $6, and one morning it was at $5.65, and the very next morning it was at $4.40. You build your plan when you're buying, and then you look at what you plan to sell at in the future. When you hit those targets, you don't get FOMO and start buying more. You follow your plan. If your plan was to liquidate some of your metals at a certain price, you ought to be doing that. And of course, I've said before, I'll be selling some silver at 45. Why don't I say 50? Because by the time silver runs to 50, People are going to be assuming that we'll hit 50 and retrace. Everybody's going to be running to the LCS, etc., to dump, and premiums, buyback premiums, may go lower. So I think between 45 and 48 would be a great place to sell some of your silver. What does my plan look like? Well, I've been accumulating since 2014. All right, that's about 11 years now. Stacking hard, all right, very, very hard, building a large stack of silver and a pretty good stack of gold. I'm presently 60% silver, 40% gold in terms of dollar value. And I have always planned to sell the rip, okay? People buy the dip, people also sell the rip. No one on YouTube will tell you to sell ever. Most individuals on YouTube make more money by selling you things or getting you to buy. All right, so you're going to see 95% of the videos talking about buying silver. Regardless of price, buy it at $40, buy it at $50, buy it at $100. And they may well be right to just keep buying. They say the same thing about gold, but you never see the contrary argument. So I think you want to be balanced in your understanding of there are reasons to sell. Now, let's see, according to your plan, you have planned, hopefully, to sell some of your silver or gold at certain predetermined prices. And let's say that you've hit that. You've hit that mark. Let's say that, you, like me, I'm going to sell, my plan is to sell 25% of my silver stack at 45, between 45 and 48 on the way up. And prices are really good right now. You could do some selling right now, and you could also do some selling of gold. But I'm focused on silver here because it's the more volatile. When gold starts going down, you'll get plenty of time to really decide if you want to lighten up on your gold. Now, I'm only talking about selling, for me anyway, a portion of my stack. Even though I'm older, I want to pass, a good deal of it on to the kids. I want to have some of it, silver and gold, for insurance in case I'm wrong and there is some kind of a massive reset or SHTF. I never want to sell, never, never, never want to sell all my gold and silver. So I'm talking about fractions of your stack. And if you sell it today at 43 and then it turns out we have a smackdown, you can buy it back at 35. If you're wrong, then you still have, and it just keeps going up to 50, 60, 70, 80, then you still have a sizable stack. So how would you go about selling? Okay. All right, the thing that seasoned stackers know that new stackers don't know is some things are better than others. You'll see 1,000 videos saying buy the cheapest silver. You'll always do the best with the cheapest silver. That is not true, okay? And now I'm not talking about, you'll get double for one thing versus, the spot for another thing. I'm talking about the kind of silver that you may want to consider buying because the buyback prices are better. All right. Now, when you buy, of course, you want to get the lowest premium, but some things garner a higher premium than other things when you go to sell. Here's a couple of sites. Here's the JM Bullion Sell to Us site. Here's the Bullion Exchanges Sell to Us site. Here is the Golden Eagle Sell to Us site. Here is Summit Metals Sell to Us. Here is Hero Bullion Sell to Us. Here is eBay. Okay, we could talk about that for a minute as well. And of course, there's peer-to-peer, there's Instagram, there's Facebook. There is Peer Precious Metals. A lot of people like that site. So lots of ways to sell, but some things get higher premiums than other. One of the ones that I forgot to put on here was the Scottsdale. And I like these guys a lot. I like these. In the Resources tab, you'll see a Sell to Us page, Sell Your Bullion. Okay, now you may not know this. A lot of people think offhand, because they're very myopic on their LCS, and a lot of reasons to support your LCS, but selling may not be one of them. All right, now here's Scottsdale, and people typically buy Scottsdale silver because it's beautiful and they just enjoy it. Scottsdale silver can be sold back to Scottsdale for $1 back of spot. Of course, everything barring Silver Eagles right now is a little back of spot, but if you've been buying silver since 15 and you wind up selling it at 42, I don't think you're going to complain about that. So Scottsdale pays more for their own silver, okay? And they actually pay more for their own gold as well. So you may say to yourself, hey, you know, I'm really going to look for deals on Scottsdale silver and gold because they have a closed loop here where, you know, they favor their own products. All right, we'll talk about how you do that in a minute as well. But if you're just buying generic silver, I can't go through all the example here, but silver rounds, well, usually 100-ounce bars bring the lowest buyback price at the big dealers. Let's do a silver. And just on JM Bullion, a lot of people sell to JM Bullion. Now, right now, they'll buy a 100-ounce bar for $39.31. Okay, terrible, terrible price for a 100-ounce bar. There are a dozen places that'll pay much, much better than that. Scottsdale being one of them. Bullion exchanges being another one. The YouTube shops on the coin shops on YouTube, I recommend, being another one. A lot of those bars are getting melted these days. Now JM is only paying 39.3 for 10-ounce bars. Now here are you'll see 1-ounce rounds in here somewhere. Those will be 39 and change, I believe. Let's find 1-ounce rounds. This is tedious. I apologize for that. Let's see. Maybe they come up first. You got 1-ounce rounds here. Don't even think about selling your junk right now because they're not paying anything for it. I'm just not finding the 1-ounce rounds. But one thing that some dealers will do is they will pay more for 1-ounce bars than they will for 1-ounce rounds. If you see a deal on 1-ounce bars, you may want to pick those up because you may get a higher buyback price at some of the online dealers for the 1-ounce bars. People collect 1-ounce bars. Rounds, people stack. And you probably get the lowest buyback price, well, starting with the 100-ounce bars and then moving all the way down to the 1-ounce rounds. So just be aware, bars can be a little better than rounds. Sometimes there's some collectible stuff in there. If you got these 1-ounce Germania bars, I recently sold a 20-pack of those for about $50 an ounce. There's a reason sometimes to upscale your silver bars because aftermarket retails on some things, some limited vintage things, and beautiful things can go for more. Now, on government-issued silver, yes, they will pay $44.56 for a 2025 Silver Eagle. But nobody has 25 Silver Eagles. If you're buying 2025 Silver Eagles right now, you're probably paying $2 more than a backdate Silver Eagle. And when we get to 2024, the price will drop to, see if that comes up first, $42.31 for backdate Silver Eagles, and they probably want those to be BU as well. So keep that in mind. If you're just buying the current year every year, you're probably losing $2 right off the get-go. Talking about junk a little bit, now we've been getting junk over on eBay for $1.50 to $2 under melt using our 3% credit card strategy. But the buyback on junk is really, really awful right now, and I don't think you should sell any part of your junk. I think you should identify the parts of your stack, if you are going to sell, that you want to sell, and look for the higher payers. This is JM Bullion. The good thing about JM Bullion is they will provide an insured shipping label. Not all dealers will. Bullion exchanges, is that them right there? Bullion exchanges does not provide an insured shipping label unless things have changed, and I'm wrong about that. Their buyback prices are higher. Okay, their Silver Eagle price is 50 cents under spot bar. But if you look for something interesting, let's look for. often their sorts don't work here, so I'm just going to talk. Maybe I can get to another site. Where I'm on Golden Eagle. Okay, look at the buyback price. Now I told you 100-ounce bars can be $3 to $4 back of spot. We're over at Golden Eagle where they have a buy and a sell page. So they'll tell you what they'll sell it for and they'll tell you what they'll buy it for. I've never sold to them and I don't know if they provide an insured shipping label. Very important to pick up an insured shipping label. Your standard USPS, FedEx, UPS shipping labels do not cover precious metals. Unless you have a very special account with them. And the only way to safely send it is really registered mail. So you really want an insured shipping label when you do this. But look at the Johnson Matthey buyback price. $41.82. Okay, much better than the generic 100-ounce bar. The Engelhard buyback price, $41.82. Random manufacturer 100-ounce bar, $40.91. Okay, you see the difference there? So for 100 ounces, that's $100 in your pocket if you've been buying Johnson Matthey and Engelhard on the cheap. And they have not been that much different than random bars. So if you shop on eBay with me every morning, there's a reason to buy those. Scottsdale 100-ounce bars, well, you already know those are $1 back at Scottsdale. Scottsdale also provides an insured shipping label. Switching to gold here really quickly. Let's see, foreign gold. You really shouldn't sell anything for any worse than 2% back of spot. Here's that 4-coin proof gold set that I talk about every day. We've been getting for maybe $6,900 or so. They'll buy that back at $66.80. Pretty low buy-sell spread on that. And here's a Gold Eagle. They're buying at $36.47 against a spot price of $36.84, about a $40 haircut even on a Gold Eagle. You guys are paying up for Gold Eagles and Gold Buffaloes. I lost my place. You're paying up for Gold Eagles and Gold Buffaloes. Boy, I really lost my place. But, you may not get all that back. Here's a buffalo. They're paying $36.47 for a buffalo. So if you're blowing an extra couple $100 on a buffalo, recognize that your buy-sell spread is going to be not as good as if you buy. Their price on the Krugerrand here is not that good, but you can sell Krugerrands all day long for 2% back a spot and have a low buy-sell spread. Same thing with the 50 peso, very cheap at spot coin typically, and you probably get 2% back a spot on that. Maybe you get something better over on Scottsdale. So gold matters as well, but there are different prices for different things. You can look at all these different websites. Here is Summit Metals. Here's their Sell to Us page. Here's a 20-ounce Scottsdale bar. They'll pay $41 an ounce for us. Now Scottsdale will pay $42 an ounce for that clunker bar. Summit pays $41. That $100, well, that matters. And they'll pay $42 for a Libertad. Don't sell your Libertads. Look, they're only paying $3,600 for a 2025 Gold Buffalo. Let's get a back date. Let's see, they're paying $42.56. They're paying 50 cents back a spot for a 25. Oh, they only want the 25s. So they tend to stock BU coins, and I really like that about their website. But then their buyback prices may be for newer coins, not for older coins. So let's get off of there. Here is Hero Bullion. You can check their prices. They're paying $42.84 for a Silver Eagle. I wouldn't sell at that price myself. I'd hold on to your Silver Eagles. This would be the time to get rid of specialty items that you've been like perhaps those Scottsdale bars, big Scottsdale bars, Engelhard bars, etc., if you want to maximize your sell-to price. Let's see, Hero is only paying $40.59 for a 1-ounce bar. They're paying for about the same price for a 10-ounce bar. 100-ounce bar is $40.59. Let's go over to Here's a refiner, Midwest Refineries. A friend of mine shared this with me. If you've got a bunch of sterling, they're paying 90% of melt on sterling, so you could check out somebody like that. They're national. But don't sell your generic bars to these guys. You'll get ripped off. Okay, here's eBay. Some people sell on eBay, some people don't. Most people do not understand the eBay fees and do not understand that to sell on eBay, you have to have a high value collector item, something that has, doubled in value, like maybe an Army Privy Eagle, something like that. And if you're just going to sell a few $100s on eBay, then you're going to pay very high fees, 12, 13, 14%. Then you're going to have to ship to boot. But if you're going to sell a 100-ounce bar on eBay for $4,400, for example, you want to pick up an eBay store. An eBay store, I think, costs about $24 a month. Your selling fees will drop dramatically. So if you're selling large amounts of very desirable items, such that after fees and shipping, you'll make more than selling to the dealer. Let's say that you've got some Libertads to sell. Let's say that you've got some U.S. Mint products to sell. Maybe you picked up a gold sunflower. You may want to sell that on eBay with an eBay store before you sell it to a SD bullion for $4,700. You may want to sell that on eBay for $5,500. Pay a 6, 7, 8% fee and net an extra $400. So if you have a lot of silver to sell and it's good stuff with eye appeal, then eBay can be the way to go. And you want a store, okay? If you just have small amounts of items, then you're going to pay the very high fees, and you want to skip that. All right, let's move on to what? Let's see. Yeah, back over to Scottsdale. So, as I said, some dealers will provide insured shipping labels for $25 to $35. They'll do electronic transfers into your bank account, and they are very efficient at this. When you go to sell to a JM Bullion, an SD Bullion, Golden State Mint, Scottsdale Silver. Another thing to recognize is, in this case, now the way these guys do it at Scottsdale, you have to email them. Okay, you email them, and literally within 10-20 minutes, they will tell you what the buyback price is. I have a 100-ounce Scottsdale stacker I want to sell. They'll write you back that we will pay $4,200 for that bar. You have 24 hours to lock in this price. And they'll send you a purchase order, and they'll send you an insured label maybe a day later, and you'll be shipping that off to them. I think they do UPS, insured UPS. And then probably within a week, maybe 10 days at the most, you'll have money put in your account. Scottsdale Silver is very efficient. JM Bullion, now, but you have to email them to lock the price. If you're over at JM Bullion, you pick the price right on their page, and that locks, I think, for 10 minutes. This is very handy if you're looking at the Sunday Open and you think that you're going to have a $2 smackdown in silver, for example. Well, you load whatever it is you're going to sell, maybe some Silver Eagles. I don't like their buyback prices for the most part, but you lock in what you want to sell. Let's see. Let's find. Oh, it doesn't really matter. I don't like these prices. But you have to log in to sell. Hopefully you have an account there. You log in and you put it in your cart. They will lock that price, I believe, for 10 minutes. You wait for the Sunday Open at 6 p.m. Eastern, and if you have a big sell-off at the Sunday Open, your price is good for 10 minutes, and then you execute that order by clicking through the screens. Matter of fact, you can load your basket with several things if you have a lot of oddball stuff you want to sell, and then that price is locked. If you don't like that price and silver and gold open higher on Sunday night, then you just click out of that page, click back, and all the prices will be better. Oh, look, they're buying the Laser Privy for $140. Pinehurst is no longer buying the Laser Privy. Interesting. Anyway, so you can lock some of these prices. Again, with bullion exchanges, I don't. You can lock your prices, but I don't think they provide an insured shipping label. Some of the dealers on YouTube will provide an insured label. You'll have to call them. Some of them do not. Big difference. Some of them will lock your price when you sell. Some of them will not. So it's a pig and a poke. If you send a bunch of silver to a particular dealer, he'll price it when he gets it. If he gets it, because he doesn't provide an insured shipping label either. So I like the dealers that will lock the price and will provide you an insured shipping label, removing 99% of the risk. If you have a loss in shipment, then you'd have to deal with their insurance, and let's just hope that doesn't happen. So back to the spot prices over here. Hopefully I've told you a little something maybe you didn't know. Or maybe you did, and maybe you're not interested in selling. But are you interested in buying stuff that the dealers pay more for? I think you should be. Are you interested in reducing your buy-sell spread? Because everything is bought to be sold someday, to some extent, by someone. It might be your heirs. And I will tell you, your heirs are going to sell it. Your heirs are going to sell it. They're going to sell it. They won't understand it. They'll need the cash. They're going to walk into an LCS because they won't understand how to sell it. And they're going to take whatever is offered them. They'll be shocked that the collection that Grandpa left them is worth, $25,000, $50,000. They'll say, pay me, and pay me now, and they'll be out of there, and they'll be paying down their credit cards with that money. And there are some channels and some dealers that act like they're doing you a favor while they're paying you 80% of spot. Avoid the pawn shops, guys. Avoid the We Buy Gold shops. Let's be smart about this. But your heirs are going to sell it. Your collections are going to get sold for near spot. Okay, the thing that I'm not talking about numismatics. Numismatics, you're going to get whatever the, wholesale buy is on the white book or whatever they call it. Numismatics, you'll also get ripped off on numismatics at the LCS because they're going to be buying it at wholesale, and you've been looking at retail prices your whole life. So recognize numismatics are a whole different market. Numismatics ought to be sold on eBay. And no matter who you are and what it is, any valuable numismatic collection, I think, ought to be sold on eBay. Walk into the LCS, you're going to get wholesale on your Carson City Morgans. Leave your heirs a date run set of MS-70 Silver Eagles. They are going to lose 30% of any premium that you paid over the years because the dealer is going to offer you $3 over spot for an MS-70 Silver Eagle, or your Proof U.S. Mint products. You're going to get 50% of retail at an LCS. Your heirs are going to sell it. They're going to sell it cheap. What you should be doing right now, is rather than buying collector coins right now, you should be converting your collector coins to stackable bullion. You should be doing that at the highest prices you can obtain, and then building your generic stack, because that is what is during this run, whether this run goes to 50 and stalls, whether it goes to 80 like I expect, collections are going to be ignored, and generic bullion is going to be, I'm just saying bullion is going to be desired, because that is what you can turn into hard cash without a giant haircut. Now, if you're looking through this next run to the future, there are some collectibles, there are some numismatics, there are some vintage bars that are just going to get more expensive over time. But if you're planning to sell some of your stack right now, don't be planning, to go to the LCS and get $100 for an MS-70 Silver Eagle. It just isn't going to happen. All right, but going into the future, yeah, there's a good reason to collect, especially if you're younger and you have time to recognize appreciation in those collections, and you have a way to sell them. I don't recommend you pass collections on to your heirs. Okay, I'm running out of air. My voice is getting rough, so that's what I got for you today. Sorry for the long, meandering video, but this is everything I'm thinking right now. What are you guys thinking? What are you doing? Are you discriminating in what you buy? Have you ever sold? Try selling, guys. Try a little selling. It's an education that will blow your mind when you start selling your metals. You really want that experience. The bigger your stack is, the more you should be experimenting with metals. A lot of what I do is sell one thing and buy another, right? Because I don't have the income I used to have. So, you know, experience a little selling, and don't sell your whole stack. Don't ever sell your whole stack. Don't do that. But get conversant with selling. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.